#1 potato boss, coming at you from MogPod Gaming. Today we're looking at Opus IV Fire Set review. With us today is Jared.
Hi there.
Kevin.
Hello.
And Chris.
Hello.
Jared, do you want to tell us about our rating system?
So we have a two-part rating system. We give the first rating is given out of 5. It's just the individual power of a card in a vacuum. And the second score is a synergy score. We give a 0, a 1, or a 2 for, and that's how good the card is once you've built a deck around it.
Okay. So without further ado, let's get straight into the cards. And we're going to go to the 2-cost Hewn. It's a 2-cost 5,000 power forward. If you control 3 or more category Wolf characters other than Hewn, Hewn gains 4,000 power. If you control 5 or more category Wolf characters other than Hewn, Hewn gains 1,000 power and Brave.
This was so divisive in our podcast.
Yes, it
Yeah.
was.
Yeah, it was.
I was banking on the fact of having one more fire backup that's Wolf, but we didn't quite get there. I mean, I'm actually also thinking of just running her as a splash of fire and mono earth Wolf. That could work.
She is an earth card.
There is a lot of like backups that you can have in WoW.
Yeah.
You've got Rain, who finds Lan, so that's
Yeah.
2 characters worth of cards.
Yeah.
You've got Brandless and his cronies.
Yeah. Palinor and Segredis.
And
The Masked Woman.
Masked Woman.
Nice woman, the girl who forgot her name.
Yeah.
You've got Sid Wolf.
Yeah.
And you got Tama.
And you've got Tama. Like, there's
Tama.
actually a lot of backup support for her. The issue that me and Kevin had in our podcast with this card was the cards that she synergizes with, quote unquote, synergizes with, as if she gets a buff from it. That's the thing. She doesn't really synergize with them.
Yeah.
They're just random cards.
I mean, like, I at this point in time with only Ryan as the only fire backup for Wolf, I'm willing to just keep her at the first buff, and she'll still be good enough. But I think with more Wolf fire cards, I'm definitely gonna go for the second line of text, which is very relevant.
2-cost 9k is like the biggest thing.
That is
Yeah.
completely insane. Just the first line of text.
That would
really
make
good.
her the largest true drop.
Yeah,
in the game,
yeah.
right?
She's as
Yeah.
large as most 5 drops.
Yeah.
Actually, as large as all 5 drops. At
Yeah.
least, I think. Oh, Feral Chaos. Never mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just I think that this card just has yet to have its legs just yet.
Yeah, the payoff is
Just
absolutely
yet.
huge, but it's just the rest of your deck has to just be like a random mishmash
Yeah.
to get it to work. That's the issue. Like
Rain is fair enough, I think, but
Yeah,
if
Rain
you go,
and
if you
Light
go
are fine.
more into the things,
I mean,
into the WoW.
you can even just go Seraphy, Rain, Masked Woman, a girl who forgot her name,
Yeah, I think
and
that's fair
Tama,
enough. I
and
can
that's
buy
it.
Yeah,
no,
actually,
I don't think you
Yeah.
need all of that.
Yeah,
either.
and no, but that will just give you the first line of text, and
Yeah.
that's it.
actually, yeah, she could be an
Yeah.
excellent slow card for that.
Anyways, Jared, what would you give this card?
I think I'd give this maybe a 2+1.
Yeah,
I
okay, I get
think
that.
you have to build around it, and
But would it be
otherwise-
just be average when you build around it?
I think it can be a 2+2 because a 2+ 9k is incredibly powerful.
Yeah, but I
think-
five category WoF characters.
Well, I mean,
Only
I'm
three.
even just
That's
the
only
3.
three.
3 is the. I'm ignoring the 5 line of
Okay.
text.
Yeah, I
'cause-
think the way we should rate this is if you control 3 or more is the power in a vacuum, and the synergy rating is if you got 5.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, then 2+2. I'm happy.
Because
with.
you're not playing this without the WoF character.
So
Okay.
2+2
2
then.
plus 2.
Yeah.
Chris, do you want to tell us the next card?
Yeah, so the next card is Red Mage. It's a backup standard unit, a fire CP dull. Choose one forward. During this turn, the damage dealt to it is increased by 1,000 instead. Jared, do you want to?
So like the way I look at this card is it's in the fire decks that are playing instead of compound removal, they're going for the slightly more expensive large block damage removals. Your Bahamut's, your Brunhilde's at the low end of that scale, but that's just you use this to make sure that something gets over the top without having to go in for the fragile investment that is Palom, or the costly spending of the two drop Opus 2 Summoner. It operates within a very particular kind of removal centric deck.
Like every point of removal, every point of damage is increased by 1,000. So I can definitely see this in a
Mm.
Fire Wind ping deck.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
seems to be a love letter to
Mm.
Fire Wind. I
Yeah,
think.
yeah. Wind has lots of very small ping effects.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because when I thought about it in just mono fire, it doesn't do enough.
Mm.
There's
Yeah.
another card here
It
that does
hasn't-
much
yeah,
more.
yeah.
It hasn't made it into my mono fire list.
Yeah.
Because you have to be doing enough small pings to make 2 CP
Mm.
worth more than 1,000.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, 'cause
the
yeah.
1,000
I'd thought
damage.
about this with like Ishtola, and I think most of the time just prefer 2 more wind
Yeah,
backups
yeah.
Yeah.
as opposed to
right,
dulling
right.
it and using it. So yeah, it's that's why I think it's more for the large.
Okay.
Block damage.
It's
damages.
also for if if water ends up with its removal thresholds just one step ahead of fires again.
Yeah.
Then it can.
'Cause
counter
that's-
that.
That's what these effects tend to like. They're there to help you get over the huge roadblock that is Minwood.
Mm.
They don't always work, but normally like your large blocks of damage only need 1 more. So having this just sit there and be able to contribute to that
Mm.
and do it more than once is I think valuable, but then again not in every deck, and
Yeah.
I think it's also a meta dependent choice.
So what was our score for this one?
I think he's just a 3.
Rickon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like there's definitely a deck for him.
Mm.
Okay. So the next card, Kevin, do you want to talk us through it?
So this is a 2-cost summon called Ifrit. It's an EX burst. It reads, choose 1 forward, deal it 4,000 damage. If you control 5 or more fire characters, deal it 7,000 damage instead.
I have a real not a love-hate relationship, but like a love leading to disappointment relationship with this Ifrit. I on my initial appraisal of it, I think I felt really, really good about it, but 5 is a lot of fire characters. I mean,
I mean, like it could be monsters, it could be backups, it could be.
it could be, but like me and Greg have both tried it. We found most of the time it wasn't making the Brynhilde threshold. It was usually just the Opus 1K 1 cost, but plus 1 CP, right? So
It's also disruptible.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah, you can say you only got five characters. Your opponent removes one in response. Oh look! All of a sudden, this Ifrit doesn't do anything. Well, it's not that it doesn't do anything. It's,
It doesn't do anything.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like I don't think it is without a home. I feel like there's like a big red, like
Big red.
a
Big
mono
fire.
fire list that spends lots of time building up as opposed to going for the usual aggressive game
Yeah,
plan.
if you
I
run
don't.
backups like the new forecast Black Mage,
Yeah.
BB Blackwall to just play backups.
Ways to stay ahead while still building. And
Yeah.
then you've got your other big payoff cards for having lots of fire cards, like the Rubicanti from the last set, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or even
Who
just
costs
Sunday.
2 less. Or, yeah, Zande. Zande's a good payoff.
Once you got your
Um,
5 backups, yeah. It's
yeah.
really-
He's
Like
really good.
if you're a more sort of mid-range to late game monofire list, then this Ifrit might have a home.
Yeah.
But even then, I'm not even sure if it's a like 3 of, because
No, because of the timing.
yeah,
You want it late.
yeah.
You never want to draw this early.
I mean, I think it's in it even fits in a deck that probably plays more backups than you would ordinarily would.
No, you're playing
possibly.
decks that play Evokers, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The ones that ramp out your backups.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what was the score for this?
I think like initially I probably gave it a 3. I think now I want to give it a 2+1.
I'd give it a 1+2.
1+2. Okay, yeah, 1+2.
Yeah.
I think its overall grading is a 3, but I think it's definitely weighted more.
In the synergy.
In the
Well,
synergy
in
side.
the more fire character.
Yeah, because you have to build a deck around it, otherwise it
Yeah.
doesn't work.
Yeah.
So Jared, tell us about the next card.
The next card is Edgar. He's a 5-cost EX bursting Final Fantasy VI character. And his EX burst reads, when he enters the field, you may search for one card named Sabine and add it to your hand. And he has Dull, choose 1 forward, deal it 2,000 damage. And he has a special ability called Drill, which costs S and fire, generic, Dull, choose 1 forward, break it. And yeah,
Pretty simple.
7k guy.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
very simple.
He's got a lot of words. I mean, forwards that have 3 lines of text that are all positive tend to be good cards.
He has lots of good words.
Yeah, yeah. All of these lines are upside. He reminds me of the Ject from Opus 1 as well.
He does, yeah.
With
That's what I
choose
thought.
1 forward, break it, and there's increasing amounts of utility for choose 1 forward, deal it 2k damage.
Yeah, I really like that Fire finally gets its cheap, repeatable ping because either they were on attack, like
Which
Hallam,
is
which is
dangerous.
Yeah, dangerous, especially when
Yeah.
Hallam is tiny. And the other cards with this was Ishtala, which is in wind.
Yeah.
So I'm really glad this is in Fire, and since it's kind of like the ultimate 3 copies because it's an EX burst that searches and it has an S. So
Yeah. But like, how often do you get to search?
well,
It can
what do you
only
mean?
search a card that you can have a maximum of 3 copies of in a deck.
Yeah.
But that
But
card
That
also
can also
also
be
S.
searched.
Mhm.
That Sabine can also be searched by other cards.
No, but those in
Um,
ice. That's in
Yeah.
But you, if you play
all the
like in a
fire cards
ice,
work
So,
really well together.
I think on that note, I've been thinking after having had a good look at a lot of the fire forwards introduced in Opus 4. I think there's potentially a mono fire list that is just the category 6 forwards.
There is, yeah.
So
well, not just. There's
well,
enough,
not just, but like the core
yeah,
of it.
yeah. I think
are
so as well.
The 4 category 6 forwards that are in the set. So this gives you your ancillary card advantage.
Yeah, its S is very adequately, I guess, costed. Like 3 CP and S is general for the Light Cloud and for the Jet and everything. It's
Yeah.
usually the case.
I feel
And
like
the gravy is the dull ability, I think.
I think the Dullability is the main thing,
Really?
honestly. I would play this
Yeah.
I kind of wanted not to search Sabine, honestly.
Well,
but-
yeah, I'm also looking forward to playing Edgar just for that line of text. Getting back to the whole fire removal, oftentimes is like compound removal, right? You play your VV and then your Cloud to finish off a 7k guy, right? This is you've got that Cloud every turn.
Yeah.
You've those allotments of 5k damage and 6k damage that you often end up with in your hand, waiting for the other half of it. He sits there and he provides that every turn, so your other forwards, like your Sabine, can get through.
I feel like he doesn't have much synergy with Sabine as well.
Yeah, that's what I
Like-
felt.
Well, I only said that there because he finds Sabine, so
Yeah.
you've got Sabine.
Yeah, but it's like
But I think if you put the rest of the 6 cards in, I think that's a definite thing there.
He, like with Cyan, who gives him
Cyan.
Brave attack and then also use the damage.
the brave rhythm is
Yeah.
real nice, and like Shadow and,
Yeah.
and all that good stuff.
What would the score be?
I think he's a 4.
Mm.
But I can see arguments for 3+1 because there are lots of other card slots that he demands.
I
But
think, yeah.
the 2k damage and the S are what I'm thinking of when I'm giving him that. So
3 plus 1 I think is
agree
where
with
it's at.
4.
I think he's a
You
4.
I think he's a 4.
Just a 4? Okay.
Alright.
If anything, he gets a minus because.
Yeah.
Okay, the next card is Garland. When Garland enters the field, you may play 1 fire backup of cost 3 or less from your hand onto the field, dull, as a 9,000 power forward.
So this is why
Don't sound
this is
too
why
enthusiastic.
Fire is never going to get a 3-cost searcher,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I think so.
They always get a 4-cost searcher with EXs and has another ability.
Mm-hmm.
It makes me sad because that makes like all mono fire lists.
It doesn't make me sad. All of our searchers are exceptional.
No, it makes me sad that you don't get a 3-cost searcher.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
No, I'm not talking about the 4-cost. No, because that might be making me mono fire. You kind of have to run the evokers.
I mean, I think it's Evokers are really good anyway.
I
on the
like.
fire.
There are definitely lots of arguments for them. At the last couple of monofire lists I've made, haven't run them, but that's just I've been so pressed for space. There's so many things I want to try
Yeah.
and get into the deck that they just haven't made it in.
What were you gonna say, Chris?
I was just gonna say, you sort of a searcher. You can search your break zone for a cloud.
That's true with the.
Oh, with the Zac,
So,
yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. Fair enough.
He's also a knight. I mean, that's one of the few like persistently relevant jobs in the game.
Yeah.
You
I think-
wouldn't really want this in a night deck, though.
Yeah, I think
Well,
the other
maybe-
Garlands
maybe
would probably
not.
be better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
he,
I
he
think-
is the only cards with the name Garland are the only fire knights
Yeah.
That's
so
right.
yeah.
far. But maybe in the future we might get some other ones.
Yeah, yeah.
Libro is like the main thing to put in with
Yeah.
Yeah,
Garland.
Libro.
there's Libro Saz.
I guess if you draw Garland early and Libro is your only backup, it makes playing
And-
Libro less awkward,
Yeah.
which is
It's-
one of the strengths.
It's
Yeah.
not the end of the world if you play a 2-drop
Mm.
in, because he also, like, unlike Ingus, which is the other card that the other like forward that people generally associate with putting a backup into play
Mhm.
with. He can put in any fire backup
Mm.
that costs 3 or less.
He's like a, if you
So-
put in LeBron, he's what, a 3 CP 10k?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except 4 CP, because
Yeah.
probably discounting.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, I really want this card to be better than it is, I guess. Might get better in the future.
Yeah. Well, there's always a like every future 3-drop fire backup that's printed has to be printed with him in mind.
Yeah.
We're gonna have a Garland watch.
yeah.
Yeah. What was the score, Jared?
He's probably a 2.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
think
I'm
he's
happy
a
with
2.
it. Giving him a
He's-
Yeah,
two.
too.
There's potential future new
Yeah.
cards might make him good.
For
but-
now, he's a 2.
Yeah.
but for now he's a 2.
So,
Chris?
Chris, you want to tell us about next card?
Caius, I do. So, Caius, 6 CP, 9,000 power forward. When Caius enters the field, you may search for one card named Bahamut and add it to your hand. When Caius attacks, choose one forward. You may discard one card named Bahamut from your hand. If you do so, deal it 7,000 damage. Okay, so I really, 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 really like this card because of the flavor and how it all comes together as like one big package, and how it's relates to lightning in the same set.
It was
as well.
7,000.
Yeah.
No, the Opus 1 legendary like
Yeah,
as
the
well.
Opus 1 legendary, like.
Oh, yeah.
He's similar to
the-
her.
Yeah.
But no, I didn't
and
mean,
can
I
kill
didn't
the
mean
other
this
one.
Opus 4 one, but
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
the Opus 1 as well. Like, they are like opposite sides of the same coin. And with this set though, like the way, because this lightning is the one that Caius is fighting. Like, yeah, he can attack, discard a Bahamut to try and kill the lightning. She can try blink out the way to dodge him, or he just wins in a raw fight, but she can dull him when she attacks.
Yeah.
So I love how there's no clear winner within the cards.
Which is exactly what 32 is all
Yeah,
about.
Yeah.
I know, right? I love it. I love it. They're just having the eternal fight in Valhalla.
Okay.
Really
within
good
the card
design.
game.
But
But
like
in terms of
the card.
yeah, like, in terms
Yeah,
of like
yeah,
the
yeah.
mechanics and
The card
gameplay
is
effects,
exceptional.
yeah. So I've made a Final Fantasy 7/Final Fantasy 13 Fire Ice deck, and Kevin said this, and I completely agree with him, that we've discovered that Caius is the perfect one-of
In that deck.
in this deck. Yeah,
Mhm.
because it has Mog 13-2, and I almost always find my one of Caius with that, which then finds a Bahamut, which makes me very flexible. He's like such a one-shot effect. Like you play him, you have this huge dude, and then yeah, you can attack and kill a thing, or you can just use your Bahamut.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
just found.
And with the new Bahamut as well,
Yeah. it's-
you've got the choice between the old sort of big blowout Opus 1 legendary Bahamut and this new Bahamut. Also very
Yeah.
very like it's
Which is funny because I've been noting all the times when that 9-drop Bahamut in my deck would have been better as the 2-drop Shiva from Opus 3. And it's done the exact same thing but cost 7 more CP
Wait, what?
each time. I just won the game off of a Bahamut by then
Okay.
attacking.
if your goal is to just
So-
get past 2 forwards,
yeah.
then
So
unless you're playing against like a wind deck,
yeah.
that's
So for that slot, I thought like the thing is, it's just I can discard that Bahamut to Caius.
Yeah.
Right.
And if you want, it gives you the flexibility because the 9-cost Bahamut only has a very specific use. So if you search it,
Yeah.
you can just discard it for its effect,
Yeah.
and then
That's
it
right.
gives you the flexibility.
Yeah.
The it's like a fake 4 cost.
Yep.
7k is very relevant. I don't know if you guys know can kill Mecha Chocobo.
Not with new Clog in play.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, it's an overall good card, and more Bahamuts are going to be printed, so it's only going to get better. What was the score?
well I put him as a 4.
I put him in a solid 4 as
Yeah,
well.
me too. Yeah, Kevin, do you want to tell us the next card?
Okay, so this is Cyan. He's a 3-cost category 6 forward. He's a 7k with Brave. And he reads the category 6 forwards other than Cyan you control gain Brave. And he has an S, Bushido Fang. S, dull, choose one forward. At the beginning of your next main phase 1, if Cyan is on your field, break it.
I just have a question.
It
I
sounds
haven't-
like it's like Cyan breaks.
I haven't.
Oh.
I haven't played 6, but in the concept art here, which is the art for the card, is he holding a chopper chop?
Yeah.
Okay, right.
Wait, what?
Okay.
It's like
Well,
he's-
you just said
he's-
yeah. You know for sure?
No.
It does look like a lollipop, yeah.
Yeah. No, it looks like a cocktail stick, like a
maybe.
cherry on it or something.
Maybe it's something like that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
but-
also like the samurai, like brave is their keyword.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The standard unit samurais
Yeah.
will gain brave somehow.
I like how it's like a 3-cost 7k brave, and can give other tribal or like other category 6 cards brave as well.
Which we reference as relevant when it comes to like
Yeah.
cyan and
Edgar, I think.
sorry,
Edgar,
yeah,
Edgar,
Edgar.
yeah.
I meant
Yeah.
Edgar.
And the S is pretty unique in this game
Yeah.
so far.
Yeah.
I quite like it.
Yeah, I like the S. I don't like the guy though. As he's just so vanilla. He's like, I want my 3 CP 7Ks to be doing something amazing.
well, he is like on curve and he affects the rest of your deck. I think his score comes down to like he's more synergy points, kind of like
Yes,
with
Yeah.
it will be terrifying versing a
Yeah.
board of Brave.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
6K for-
it's the board that like Jared mentioned of Shadow, Edgar, Cyan, Sabine. Is there
General-
another
General
one? General Leo is
Yeah,
also
and
one. That
also-
would be terrifying too.
Terra or Kefka.
Yeah,
for
or
the light
Terra
or
or
dark
Kefka,
Terra and
yeah.
Kefka.
Because Sabine can attack with Brave, give your next Brave cannot be broken, and then you can attack with that one.
Yeah, it's all this. It's the second. He gets all his points from giving all your category 6 things brave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That rather than just being brave at a
Yeah.
7K.
Yeah.
What's the score, Jared?
Yeah, I think he's maybe like a 2+2 again.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
2.
In,
Yeah.
in the context of
Well-
the fire, of all the fire 6,
Yeah.
possibly.
Yeah.
Because they all synergize well.
So
with
not
each
two
Like,
other.
plus one?
he goes into that deck. He goes into.
My
he doesn't
thing-
go into other decks.
Here's my thing with him. I'd only want to run like 1 or 2 of him, but then he has an S.
Yeah, you
I
I
can-
think the S, I don't think should be considered too much.
as I've hinted, I'm thinking about making a deck built around these guys. I'm going to be running 3 of all of them because all of their S's provide relevant outcomes. They all basically read things of your opponents die, right? So, yeah.
Shadow doesn't have an S.
Shadow's ability is kind of.
You can kind of S him, you can discard him.
Yeah.
costs
Okay.
costs 2 fire is effectively an S.
Yeah.
Next card. Jared, do you want to talk us through?
I love this card. This is the new Scholar. It's 2-cost fire backup, and it reads: Fire dull, put Scholar into the break zone, choose up to 2 forwards an opponent controls, deal them 3,000 damage. This is, I think, in a lot of fire lists, either going to supplement or replace the Opus 1 Black Mage. Because a lot of the time, the fact that it's 4k damage doesn't matter. It's just the fact that you've got this banked up damage there. This is, you can split it into up onto 2 forwards. It's going to enable a lot of plays that rob your opponent of most of their board, or the relevant parts of their board.
Yeah, because if it's finisher damage, it doesn't. The difference between 3 and 4k isn't that big.
It's relatively academic.
How
Okay.
big is Fire's usual increments?
5 is the baseline.
It usually does 5k
Like
damage per.
5 is usually
No,
the baseline.
4.
Is it?
4, 5.
Yeah, like
Well,
because-
no,
Like
got-
Firion.
Yeah, like
Firian's
no,
not a bigger one.
I think of Firion, usually he's the finisher damage, but
yeah, I think so.
because you
as
go
well.
VV Firion,
Yeah.
or like I suppose you sometimes go Black Mage Firion, but that's just getting you to 8, whereas most forwards tend to be 7k that he's
I think
going.
the damage that gets banked up comes from Cloud, Firion,
Yeah.
and either VV.
Those are the
Yeah, so you got 4, 2, 5. They're all over the place. Then so yeah, okay. Yeah, I think this is just better than Black Mage.
is
You
not
think
Yeah.
about it
bad
also
at
in the
all.
context of the new AoE damage like Bomb
Yeah.
Yeah,
that knocks Bomb up to deal 7k to all your opponent's forwards.
Well, two opponents forwards.
Yeah. Most of the time,
Yeah.
water players that have lots of forwards. Most
water players don't care about incremental
Yeah.
damage.
Yeah.
like
So,
this is
I guess-
already
yeah.
not affecting the
Yeah.
players who tend to have like
Well,
5 things in
Yeah,
play.
yeah.
Yeah.
Excluding like the wind decks that explode out lots of things, in which case you don't even need this.
Yeah, this
Actually, no,
this
this
kills.
on its own
yeah.
kills 2 things.
Yeah. Okay.
So I think it's look, we spoke in our ice set review of all of the really good new ice 2-drop backups. This is like
one of them.
A fire
this
core.
is the best new. Oh,
No.
it's one of 2.
Yes.
Yeah.
One
yeah,
of
the-
one of 2 of Fire's like. In my mono fire list that I have at the moment, I've replaced my black mages with this, and I've replaced my summoners with the other card that we'll be talking about.
So what was the score for this card?
I give this one a 4.
Yeah.
Sure.
Good,
Completely
breakable 2-drop back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Next card is a 3-cost forward. Ranger. It's a 4,000 power. It has haste. When Ranger attacks, deal 2,000 damage to all the forward opponent controls. It just seems like this is 2 different things what Fire wants to do put onto one thing.
This is an awkward card. This is like a Frankenstein.
I like to think of this like though in Earth in this new set we've got the new Roban who's
Oh yeah.
he's a summon but
pretty
on,
much.
on a
On a
forward's
forward.
body. I kind of feel like this is the same deal.
Yeah. Okay.
Just
Just a 2k AoE.
yeah, and it's I mean sure it's repeatable if it survives,
It's
but
hopefully not gonna survive. Well,
Well,
probably not gonna survive.
yeah, but there are decks you can
Yeah,
build.
yeah.
You know what's
I mean-
funny? This will wreck you if you're playing Scholar instead of Black Mage.
I mean, if the 2K is enough to be relevant, yeah.
Yeah.
But also the because I was trying first with my Black Mage in Ice, which just does 4k to a dull thing.
Yep.
And like that just eats this.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like it's really
Completely
tiny.
I
Like, 4K
remember
dice it rains and terror.
I had it in my my pre-release deck.
Mm-hmm.
I never got to attack with it whenever I was playing against anyone with any ice backups,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I just couldn't play it against anyone with any lightning backups
Mm.
because they just happened to be those 2, like the
Black
it's
Mage.
Black Mage and
Oh no, is
It's
it
like a
Magus?
sage
Magus.
or something.
yeah, Black Mage
Magus,
and
Magus,
Sage,
yeah.
Magus, yeah,
Mm.
yeah. So
I actually found it very good in pre-release.
this guy,
Yeah,
really?
it was very good.
Maybe I mean there might be a deck for him. I mean he's a lot safer when you have
More AoE.
like Lebro,
Libro.
like bumping him up to a 3-cost 5k that does that is significantly safer.
Also, I guess if you kill all of their forwards after 2k damage, then he gets through.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
If this is the finisher damage, then yeah, it's just kind of hard to judge. I think.
It's kind of hard to find the deck space for him, I think.
Yeah.
I think you sort of have to take advantage of the standard unit job to
Yeah,
make this card
maybe.
worth it.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. If you've got that
Gladiator.
not gladiator, the
You know, it's funny.
Warrior of
Luminous
Light
doesn't
Lord?
even
Oh,
help
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Warrior of Light
Yeah.
makes it a
Yeah.
what a 6k that has first
Yeah.
strike as
Yeah,
well. So
which
that
is-
that trades with or doesn't trade. It kills 8k forwards. So at that point. Maybe he's in like some fire water list because then you've even got Refia to make him only cost
You've even
2.
got Gladiator in
Yeah.
that list as well.
Gladiator.
Yeah.
Amazing.
You have. You
Okay.
can even put the 9 engine in that deck because brain such as a.
All
Look,
right.
just because you're in water doesn't mean you put the 9.
Hey! This one's
Uh,
relevant because brain is a standard unit.
I
set.
think-
You can
Yeah.
put brain without the 9 engine.
Hey! No.
Considering that maybe there's an interesting fire water standard units list that takes advantage of this guy,
Yep.
I think that bumps him out of.
That gives him synergy
Yeah.
points.
Yeah,
right?
synergy points.
'Cause
No.
I don't think we're very impressed with him.
No,
No, I
definitely
think
not.
So what? 1+1?
1 plus.
Oh, he'll be great in the deck with all the synergy.
Yeah.
Will he?
I don't think so.
Yeah, when he's the 6k first strike,
Okay.
2k Toil guys,
I can
hasting for
see
3,
him.
comes out of the break
Yeah.
zone.
Okay,
Does
yeah.
Gladiator bring it out of the break zone? Done.
Yeah, no, it's
No?
just
Yeah,
breaks
so
the
just
normal.
boom,
Yeah,
ding,
okay.
he comes in,
Yeah,
attacks.
Yeah, sure.
I think
Okay,
it'll be
what?
like
1
the
plus
reason
2?
you make the deck.
I
1
guess.
plus 2?
Yeah, 1+2.
All right, let's give him that.
Oh, we need to. Oh, come on, we need to do 2 plus 2.
No.
Like
But he's
because
not a 3. He's a 4. In
He's
that
not.
deck.
He's not.
I think he's a 3 in that deck.
He's a 3 in that deck. Yeah.
Right, that's it.
'Cause
I'm
that-
making this deck.
This
You're
deck-
making this deck.
I'll help.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll help too.
It can be a bad deck, but that'll be an all-star card in the bad deck.
Yeah.
So it's a 4.
Okay.
Anyway.
Chris, what's
Yep.
the next card?
So this is a 4-drop Black Mage. Backup standard unit. When Black Mage enters the field, choose up to 2 forwards, deal them 5,000 damage.
It's 2 VVs in 1.
Yeah.
Yep.
You take your VV, you take your other VV, you staple them together, you get Black Mage.
VV. I'm sorry.
That's a game, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
It is. Yeah. So, Jared,
It's-
you.
I mean, like, this comes in. I don't think this card is as unplayable as I think a lot of you might think it is.
I like this card.
Who
Yeah.
thinks this is unplayable?
I mean, like.
I feel consternation coming from Mirage.
Ah.
Oh,
No.
Mirage. Always the fun killer.
No, I mean, like, I think that it has its space, but it maybe one, possibly two of.
Well,
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it's because it's such a huge commitment on
Well,
like on a circumstantial board, you know, because
It's the timing, right?
Yeah,
It's the
yeah,
time
yeah.
someone enters the
If-
field.
yeah.
Right?
If by all means it was a 2-cost backup, then you pay 4. Then you
Yeah.
pay 4 and break it for this effect.
that already
that's fine.
exists. Cannoneer.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
That
Like
card already
Cannoneer is
exists.
better.
Hey,
Cannoneer is better. Like, I'm just saying it out there.
Maybe.
You guys aren't considering the reason I put this in my deck. It's called Black Mage. We now have, I think, 5 playable Black Mages.
We already had like, so there were 5 just in Lightning.
Yeah, but not all of those are great.
Oh no, because you would want to. I guess you
And-
can. Now you can run Fire Lightning.
Yeah, we can go Fire Lightning,
Yeah.
and then the Lightning ones can break themselves, and the Fire ones are good.
You can even only have forwards with the job Black Mage if you want.
A Black Mage tribal deck. I'm really excited for this because I mean, like all of them like burn or like kill damage
Yeah.
things. For the Black Mage, this could just be a thing. Just the Black Mage backup line.
The problem is the pressure at 4, especially. I know I keep bringing up this from the perspective of Mono Fire, but that's just because I've mostly been thinking about Mono Fire recently. Like, you've got a lot of important cards in your backup line that sit at 4.
Really, you don't have to Vowed. You've got it easy.
But you have, sure that they search for a card, but you've got like Rain, you've got Zangan.
Yeah, they're not 4 drops.
They're not, but they do cost you 4 when you go to play them. And there's also Teller, which in conversations I've had with Greg, we seem to be leaning towards, well, maybe we kind of need our Teller in our deck now. So he's the thing that pushes this card out is just other 4-drop backups, because you can't play a lot of them in most Fire decks. Maybe like when we were talking about the Ifrit earlier, maybe this exists in that like slow build up your backups Mono Fire list, because it can threaten to like 2-for-1 against some cards, and there are a lot of really important like 2-drop 5Ks in the new environment, like Babu and Mira and Realm. It's not like this Black Mage doesn't kill things.
Black Mage will really, really punish going aggressive. Which
Yeah.
I found before Fire Fire has lots of kind of semi-expensive single target removal. That's kind of slow. So this will give them this, and Scholar and like other tools will give them ways to punish.
There also aren't a lot of backups that threaten to take out more than one forward, and just because this is one, like that.
I can definitely see.
I'm gonna try it in some lists.
I'm playing it in my deck I've just been dead to make today. So.
Okay, all right. Do you have room in that backup line for this thing?
Yeah, what am I back?
I don't know yet. I got some of the gladiators.
Gladiator brain.
Yeah.
I can definitely see this being a one-off, but more than that, not so much.
Yeah.
What was the score?
3.
Yep. Be fine with this, right?
Sure. Next card.
I think Jared should
Oh,
talk
well,
about
this
card.
is
Okay.
this is the other 2-drop backup I was referring to earlier. This is the new Sage, 2-drop for Sage. It reads, Dull, put Sage into the break zone, choose one forward you control. If it deals damage to a forward this turn, the damage increases by 2,000 instead. So, in a lot of instances, when Fire players were playing the Opus 2 Breakable Summoner, they were just using it to do this. Like, most of the damage that they were bonusing tended to come from like a forward anyway. Some of it came from like VV or Black Waltz too, but a lot of the finisher part of it was your Firians and your VVs and things like that. This forces it up into the next damage threshold, and it's even better on AoE effects. Like you've got Bomb, Red 13's Cosmo Memory, even the Light Cloud's Meteor Rain,
I
and
think
the
it's-
new Light Cloud's Blade Beam is
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
good.
It's
with
amazing on Blade.
I think this is pretty rubbish if you don't use it on an AoE.
Yeah.
Because
No.
otherwise
In
it's Dull
combat,
Break
it-
2000 damage.
It-
I
that's
actually
terrible.
when I first
But
saw
it you can use it for that, and
Yeah.
some like
So-
I've won a game off of that,
Yeah.
so
but
I'm
it
not
means
discounting it entirely.
I wouldn't put it in a deck that didn't have AoE.
Yeah.
But with AoE, it's insane.
Yup.
no, I mean like when I first saw this card, I actually was super excited to put it in a first strike deck.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
because this,
and
this
that deck is the same.
That
It's the
is-
same as Dull Break 2000
2000
damage. Which is,
yeah, I know, but it's that's still
because
good.
it's,
I mean,
That's
because
still
it's
good.
a free break.
It's
I
also
think.
it's not free.
it's not
Dull
only
Break.
on
No,
AoE.
I
You've
mean-
got cards like Ishtola,
Yeah.
which will just make that
Like-
deal 3,000
Yeah,
damage
yeah.
per wind, and
The
on
repeatable.
Dadaluma. Huh?
Or on the oh yes, Dadaluma.
Yes.
But
Fire
I was also
Earth.
thinking about the Lightning Gilgamesh with all the different element symbols on it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Spend a fire, deal 3k.
yeah.
It's a lot better. I
Well,
mean, people were
it's-
already
it'll
doing
deal
that.
4K with
It's
this.
4K.
Sorry, 4k. People were already doing that with the
Yeah.
old summoner.
I play this in the Ice Fire deck I mentioned before, and because I run like blade beaming clouds. Got them in the end, and bombs, and the Opus 1 Light Cloud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, something called Cloud. This is pretty good with it.
When I-
The
This
other
is just a strong card.
The other important thing about this one versus all the other like the Palom, the Summoner, etc., is it doesn't weaken your forwards and open them up to your opponent's removal.
Yeah.
Like one of the big risks was always break your Summoner. Oh no, they've got a Mumbo or they've got a Brunilda or whatever, and now you're just as bad off as you were hoping to set them back. So this one, it's just for you.
I found that if you ever do get two of them on the field and you have a bomb, that's like an automatic board wipe.
Well, that
It-
wipes your board as well.
Yeah, it
That-
also
that
sets
case.
you back 2 backups. I mean, it's a powerful effect. It's potent, but there's the trade-off.
Yeah.
A powerful explosion.
Okay. So
And also, as the relevant thing, it gets over minimum. If this doesn't just deal 2k damage, it
Yeah.
goes up by 2k damage.
so
Yep.
what was our score?
I give this one a 4.
I agree.
Cool. So the next card is the 1-cost monster Goblin. Put Goblin to the break zone. Choose 1 forward you control, gains haste until the end of the turn. Draw 1 card. The way I see this card is just a summon. A summon that you can put on the field and use whenever you want.
The way I see this card is one of Ice's best backups.
Ice's best backup.
Ice's best
Ice,
backup.
Ice does more with haste than anyone else. With all those
Oh, wow.
combat damage triggers.
I see this card as deal 4 damage.
For damage.
With Ramza and Palo. We all see this card in different lights, but
Mm.
it's just a good card.
We spoke about this quite a lot on one of the podcasts,
We
didn't we?
did, yeah.
Yeah,
So,
Goblin.
yeah.
We won't go too much into it, but pretty much,
Haste is
I
very
find
strong. That's the
Yeah.
cheapest way to get haste. Just haste.
and it draws you a card.
Yeah.
This-
But I think, like, in terms of me making fire decks, it was kind of a toss-up. Do I include this or do I include Belize? Because there isn't really enough space to put essentially 6 Belizes. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Yeah.
as I've
Yeah.
bring up in my own decks as well. I haven't found room for 3 of them, even though I
Yeah.
really want 3 of them.
Yeah.
See, that's exactly. It's like when I first told you, Chris, I was like, you were like asking me how much goblins do you want? I was like, only 2. It's like, what? How can you only
Yeah,
have 2?
yeah,
And then now you're telling me that you can't put
Yeah.
3.
Yeah.
It's because, come on, I've got to fit Shivas in my deck as well. And Bahamut.
And Flan.
Not in that deck. But like, yeah, which Shivas and Bahamut. It's
I
like,
just
there's so many cards that demand so much space in Opus 4.
yeah.
Mm.
And this at least doesn't demand space, so
Yeah.
it can be cut.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
So
So-
so what was our score, Jared?
I think 3 + 1.
Yeah. Fair
Whoa,
enough.
whoa! I
Wait,
think
wait.
that's really low.
You think it's low?
I think
Wait,
that's
wait.
really low.
I think it's a good card. You're going to consider it for a lot of decks, but it's got a lot of synergy potential.
I mean, if you're just using it on a forward to get a haste, then it's just you get what you get. You
Yeah.
get 1 CP. You pay 1 CP, you get a haste, right? Without in the absence of synergistic effects, that's all it is.
that you make that sound like that's terrible.
I'm not.
It isn't
I'm
terrible.
not.
Like, remember, 3 isn't bad.
Yeah, 3's not
3
bad.
+ 1.
3's a
that's
searcher.
that's
You
a
always
4.
play those.
Yeah, but such as a special case.
No, 3 is above average.
Yeah.
And having haste is above average, but having haste on a good forward that can utilize it, that is better than above average. I guess I can say.
But I feel like it's a 4+1 because it's almost an auto include in all my fire lists.
I still think 3+1.
Yeah, me too.
Okay.
Chris, do you want to tell us about this card?
Yeah, Zach, I've been using this card too. So 3 CP EX Burst Backup. It's a soldier. When Zach enters the field, choose one card named Cloud or Job Soldier in your break zone. Add it to your hand. This is a really weird timing card.
Yeah.
I've been... when you've got a 3-drop searcher, you can just play it and it's basically a 1 CP backup. This isn't always true.
Yeah, this is not a searcher.
No, yeah, you need the Cloud or the Soldier in your break zone to be worth the effect. But when you can get one of these back, have you seen how many S's Clouds have?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Clouds,
Like-
and also the Genesis is a soldier.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's
Strong
why
card.
this is what pushed me to try it out in the Ice Fire deck
Yeah.
I have.
And Geo is a soldier.
Yeah,
Although he finds Zach, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm still playing it.
Zach is a soldier. He
Yes,
can find
he
himself.
can bring
himself.
himself back, so
Yeah.
he's kind of a 1 cost backup.
Yeah.
He's sort of an evoker if you've got a Zach in your break zone.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm ultimately leaning towards taking him out of my deck though, and he's got max synergy in my deck because he's got loads of Clouds and Genesis. So,
Yeah, I tried an app as well.
yeah.
Just doesn't do enough. I'd rather just run the Zach and
Yeah.
Yeah, the other Zach.
It is really nice being able to have more redundancy on your Clouds, like taking them from somewhere other than your deck, and to S.
Yeah,
But it's just too awkward with the timing.
He's also not a forward for the new Light Cloud to see. So.
yeah.
That's fine. There's plenty of those.
So because he's essentially a searcher, 3+0.
I think 3+0.
Nah, he-
No,
two.
he's worse than a
He's
Zach.
worse.
So
That's
okay,
yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
2+0.
All right.
Okay. Next card, Kevin. Do you want to tell us about it?
This is the Samurai for fire. This is a 4-cost 8k. If you have received 5 points of damage or more, Samurai gains 1,000 power and brave.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much to say here.
Let's just skip this one.
It's okay.
Well,
Just real quickly, it's an
well.
on curve, 4-cost standard unit,
Yeah.
and if you have 5 points of damage, it just gets better. So
He pushes above curve late game. He's like the Opus II 4-cost Dark Knight, I think,
Yeah,
in a
yeah.
lot of ways.
It's kind of like a brand as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was thinking more closer to Gabran in that sense. But
Well, Gabranth
still,
is just a Dark Knight.
Yeah, true.
he's a judge though.
It's only because he's only a judge because of law reasons. He's mechanically a Dark Knight.
What's the score, Jared? Okay,
Hey,
fine.
it's 2+0.
Yeah,
Okay, fine.
standard unit.
Yeah, there's that standard unit deck.
Next card.
So the next card up is Shadow, who is another category 6 forward. He's a 4-cost 7k. He has first strike and he reads fire, remove a card from your hand from the game. Choose one forward, deal it 1,000 damage for each CP required to play the remove card. A lot of fire players have been very happy to see Shadow because they feel like now they can play more Sephiroths
Yeah.
and be less afraid of Kevin's Minwoos.
I don't know if you guys remember from the first podcast when we were talking about fire, and I said that I want more effects like Bahamut Fury.
Yeah.
This
you
is
said
this
that.
is what I'm talking about. I wanted more than this, but I guess
This
I
is
could stay with
repeatable. You get more.
Yeah.
Than this.
I know, but you can't search for it in Mono Fire. That's my only problem. But yeah, it's first strike. I love more first strike guys.
You can in
And
Fire
it's-
Ice, and you can also search for Sephiroth in Ice.
Yeah.
And this card just has synergy with itself as well.
Mhm.
If you really want to discard 2 cards to push him over in combat,
Yep.
you can.
Yeah.
Yeah, and incidentally, that Sephiroth hits my devours. And I'm not happy about that. So, yeah, I think it's just because of the meta. It is like what's making Shadow.
It lets the fire
Good,
players.
right?
We can take
go
more liberties with
Light
light
and
and
dark
dark cards. So,
This is what we want. Next couple of opuses, I'm not sure who told me.
What?
It's like make a fire dark list.
to rival the water light
Yeah,
list.
exactly,
That would
yeah.
be cool.
The thing
Also, yeah, you can. Go
I was
first.
gonna say, the thing with fire though is there's a specific light card they really like to run.
yeah.
So
one light card.
Yeah.
You
it's
can
like-
run both.
You can run both.
I mean, with
because
Shadow,
of
you
this.
can. Yeah.
But like That's gonna get awkward. Like,
You don't have your shadow. You've
I
drawn
mean,
your cloud and your Sephiroth.
hey.
What do you do?
Hey,
Yeah.
you can make a fire lightless and discard your ultimate to
Well,
deal 7k.
What I
Yeah.
what I like about that particular instance with you wanted your own clouds and Sephiroths now. Sephiroth will be a 7 forward in play for when your light cloud
Yeah,
X
yeah.
bursts.
Yeah, and it
So
works.
you still get
It
to
works.
deal the
It
7 gate to
Oh
someone.
yeah. This card is also good with Cyan. This is
Yes, he's
first
in
track is
6
generally
forward.
really good with
Brave.
Mhm.
And he has damage to go with it, and also the other 6 cards also have damage to go with him.
He also, for all of your other large block ping effects, he provides finisher damage so long as you have cards in hand.
Yeah.
So,
Well, the thing with like thinking how all these 6 fire forwards work well together is they all cost like 3 or more.
They're very expensive.
And they don't search like Edgar does, but that costs 3, right? And it's actually hard to build a wide board with things that
Yeah.
actually cost 3 or more.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
So
And they
we
don't
can't-
have good ETBs.
Yeah,
either.
we can't really think of them as all being in play, supporting each other at once. Just like 1 or 2 of them, well, 2 of them supporting each other. I
Fair
guess.
point.
So in that case, but the Shadow goes well with the Edgar. He goes well with Cyan, and he goes well with Sabine.
Yeah, he goes
So
well with any one
It
of
does,
the
yeah,
other
so it
ones.
doesn't matter which one you have out. He's going to go well with it. Is that true of all of them? Is any 2 combination like good?
It seems so, yeah.
I think so. I mean,
What about General Leo?
General Leo and
I
Shadow
forgot
are
about him.
pretty decent.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Leo provides
Yeah.
the ping.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
I don't
What's
think
the score?
I think he's a 4.
Me too.
Me too.
Okay. Next card is a 4-cost Bahamut. It's a summon. Choose 1 forward, deal 8,000 damage. If it is put from the field into the break zone this turn, remove it from the game instead. So I don't know about you guys, but in my mono fire lists, I have removed Opus 1 Red Mage.
Blasphemy!
I know.
Burn the heretic!
Hold on.
Burn the heretic!
Hell,
Wait,
the
hold
cannot
on.
block one?
Yes, the cannot block
Wow.
one. Yeah, but only because I want to try new cards. But
Yeah,
it was a conscious decision, and when I did that, I automatically added 3 of the Bahamut because really the only forward that I didn't really want to block that I couldn't outright kill in mono fire was Renoa. So this Bahamut is for Renoa, right? And I need 3 of them. So if I don't have the red mage, I have a Bahamut for the Renoa. Because any other forward, you can just kill and just deal with the like Setzer, you just deal with the consequence. You know, Dylan Freeze, that's fine.
Yeah,
but
Bahamut
Renoa, your Bahamut works, I know. But I'm saying in the case that you don't have Bahamut.
Yeah.
But like Renoa is just too devastating for you to just kill and just let the dull go through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've basically been forced to play this Bahamut because of the 13-7 deck I made with Caius, and I don't want to run 100 of the 9-drop one. I've been really impressed with it. It's not just for Caius. It's 8Ks. We've been playing a lot of monocolor decks. That could just be because it's the start of the Opus.
That's right. That usually happens.
But if they end up actually being good, 8K is the average threshold that you need to hit now. And so this can just easily replace Brunilda's.
Yeah. With the curve in a lot of your matchups shifting up, having someone that's base is 8K does mean you're less reliant on those little damage buffers as well.
Yeah.
So
And then swings and roundabouts the meta could then readjust, so just have loads of little guys. But then now you've got the tools and fire with Balm and Scholar, so
there are
they
more ways to
cover
deal with the
both
little guys.
sides. of
Yeah,
what you
yeah.
need.
No, I'm very pleased with this Bahamut. He also has little bits of extra synergy here and there, like Caius, and I'm really eager to try finding room for Fang in one of my decks finally.
Yeah.
That she makes this Bahamut cost 2, so
Yeah. They seemed really reluctant to make this card. It's felt like in Opus 2 and 3. Like, with Opus 2 got the Ifrit, which was really nice, the 2-drop Ifrit. And in Opus 3, the Ifrit, the Cadets Ifrit, that was like conditionally 8K. It felt to me like they really didn't want to quite make that summon. And now, well, here it is.
Yeah.
It doesn't,
And it's even better.
But,
Removes.
yeah, removing from the game is not irrelevant.
That's right.
yeah, there are a lot of instances where it just ends up being important. Again, using it on any ice forward, not just Renoa, is relevant just because it shuts off that, like, this is one thing that's not getting developed back later.
Yeah.
And just having access to that is nice. I mean, also, playing against those Golbez lists that show up, you can crack your summoner and Bahamut him and not have to worry.
That's right.
That was, like, when, I remember back in Opus 1, I used to have to, like, greedily hold on to my Bahamuts just for when the Golbez got played.
Especially since when
Yeah.
they were playing Lightning and you didn't know quite sure if they were playing Golbez.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But
I hated that moment.
I'd like to be better safe than sorry. I
Yeah.
just, yeah.
It'd be a devastating turn though when they tried to delete their Golbez. You'd Bahamut both of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, with Tamu existing now, it's relevant against Earth.
Yeah.
That's right.
Mhm.
That's right. Yeah, that too. So what was the score?
I think it's a 4.
Yeah, me too.
Me too.
Okay,
Lots of force.
next card. Chris.
Here we go.
Marauder.
Marauder. I'm gonna destroy you guys with my standard unit. So this thing's gonna be terrifying.
It's going to be 11k with first strike.
This is already terrifying.
Yeah, okay. So Marauder, 2 CPs, standard unit, multi-card icon, 1,000 power.
Wow.
When
One whole
Marauder
1,000.
attacks, Marauder gains the modest buff of plus 8,000 power until the end of the turn. So it when it attacks, it's a 2 CP 9,000 power until the end of your turn, which means you can bomb afterwards and wipe all their stuff, and this thing survives.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
true.
And also, when it's not attacking and it's just a 1,000 thing, it dies to literally everything in the game.
A stiff breeze will look over this Marauder.
Yeah.
Kevin, you played 14, right?
Yeah.
Is the Marauder class just like a glass cannon?
The Marauder is a tank.
So this isn't really great top-down design.
Not really.
Yeah, that what?
They are more of like a kind of a damage-focused tank,
Okay.
but I still don't think it justifies this design. I guess he's tanky when he's attacking, you know?
Alright.
Maybe it kind of makes
yeah,
sense.
he's pretty techy.
But
Yeah.
He's an aggressive tank.
He's
in the
like,
game.
ignore me when he's attacking,
Yeah.
basically.
Oh yeah, he's very bad at pulling aggro.
Yeah.
All my tanks are bad at pulling aggro.
Unless you have cheerleader sync
Mm.
encouraging them to block him.
Yeah.
Just you wait until I use my gladiator to bring this back and my 4+1 star goblin to give this thing.
And then I will playing the same deck as you. Will gladiator back my ranger, deal 2k to Marauder and kill
Chris,
it.
why don't you just play Luneth?
Because Ranger has haste already.
Ah. And you only want to give haste to this one?
But hang on, are you saying don't play goblin?
No, I'm
but
not saying don't play
Luneth
Goblin.
instead?
I'm just saying I think there's a
I
card
think
that already
Luneth should just be a
exists.
standard unit.
But wait, let's
Maybe.
just look about it.
Back
most
to Marauder.
do most decks have? Most decks do not actually have efficient small ping. Like for example, in
Really?
my mono earth deck, the cheapest way to get rid of it is like a hecaton.
So you're sitting
that's
across
not-
the table from somebody who plays lots of Ishtola and somebody who plays things like Scholar.
And
I know,
somebody
I know.
who plays
I mean-
mono ice with Terra.
I mean, even
We all
Scholar,
have lots of ways
even,
to deal
No,
with
no, no,
this.
even Hecaton isn't terrible.
No,
Right.
it's not terrible, but it's just like
You're paying the same cost as Marauder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and you're not dying to anything.
No,
You're not
you're
dying to it.
doing 1k damage.
It's probably also not dying, right? Oh, I mean, if you're using it with the...
Yeah.
I mean, if you're using a Hecatonker on it, I mean, sure.
Mm.
Yeah.
If you're trying to kill it, you can respond to the 8k
Yeah.
and kill it.
Yeah, it just I don't know. It just
It
like,
has lots of windows of vulnerability.
Yeah.
no, it does, but like it's not. Not every deck can efficiently get rid of it.
I love
What
this. I love
card?
this card. I think it's like
Yeah,
the ultimate
I love this
meme
card as well.
attacking card.
Because if you can't deal with this,
Yeah,
it's just a
yeah.
9k barreling down on you
Yeah.
every turn.
We said Hyun was good. This is probably an easy condition to fulfill.
Yeah. On the attack.
Attacking.
That's a pretty easy condition.
Yeah. I mean,
but
in
in all-
fairness, I'll probably play this before I play Hyun.
Yeah, in all reality though, this is unplayable. Unfortunately,
Yeah,
it
that's
will just
true.
die for free mode
Yeah.
too often.
Okay, so what is it?
I think. Do we give it a 2 based on the fact that Chris is going to make some
It's
terrible
1
deck?
plus 1.
It's
Thank
a
you.
1 plus 1, not a 1
Okay.
plus 1. It's not a 1 plus 1, it's a 1 plus 1.
Ah.
Yeah, alrighty.
All
You won't be
right.
saying that once I blow you again.
Next up, we've already spoken about this guy quite a lot. We've got
yeah.
the new bomb.
I have a bet with
Tactics
someone
bomb.
over this. Sorry, I'll carry on.
Yeah, so Final Fantasy Tactics Bomb is important because there's another bomb in the set. Costs 2 and has fire until the end of turn. Bomb also becomes a forward with 5,000 power, and put bomb into the break zone, deal 4,000 damage to all forwards. You can use this ability only once per turn, and it's referring to the turn it into a forward, not the break it. I mean, you obviously can only break it once each turn. So yeah, this guy answers a lot of questions that wide boards ask the fire players.
This is a better aggro answer than the other black mage we're talking
Well, it goes well with black.
It goes well with it,
as well.
right?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
you need like. I bring it up every time. Fire needs compound damage, right? So you have bomb and you have your black mage. They don't have two forwards anymore.
You know what's a fantastic ability on a backup? Dull break, pay a fire, deal 4,000 damage to
Oh, really?
forwards.
Yeah.
It's,
I wonder what card has that text.
yeah. So
Especially when it doesn't sit in your backup line. So Chris, tell us about this bet.
no, I'm talking about Sid Waff.
Oh right,
Yeah,
Sid Waff.
He gets back bomb.
Anyway,
Yeah,
tell
yeah.
us about your damn bet.
Okay. So we just know someone who wasn't convinced about Bob.
Greg.
Greg wasn't convinced about bomb.
Wow. How's it going?
We're calling you out, Greg.
Wow, poor Greg, man. Anyway, so our bet is whether or not this shows up in the next top 8 of some event, some undecided event. Just like
Yeah.
I
whatever the
hope
next one is.
I hope a Sabin is in the whatchamacallit,
What?
in the bet.
Sabin.
Like
Oh, it's for a Coke.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, it's for a Coke.
No,
Oh, okay.
no, yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah.
I thought a Sabin was
No,
for
no,
it.
no.
No, it's for a bottle of
The stakes aren't high.
Yeah. But here's the thing. I'm so confident. I don't even like Coke.
Oh my god.
Oh.
So,
When
yeah.
Greg next comes on the podcast, we can talk about how he gave you a Coke.
Oh, Greg. Yeah. The thing is, I'm not sure what we're gonna do with just no fire decks.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
that's not Bob's fault.
Bomb is a
Anyway.
great card.
I think
Fire's
it
in a
will come
good
up.
place right now.
I think
Yeah.
it will come up.
Decent chance.
Mono fire always comes up at the start of the opus.
This
It always
is a
does.
very strong AoE.
Yeah.
And this is also
and
quite playable outside of just fire, so
Yeah.
we'll see
Yeah.
playing like
we talked
Fire
about
X
Lich, right?
lists. Yeah.
We and also it compounds with itself really nicely.
Yeah, 2
And
bombs.
it's just really awkward for your opponent to deal with, as like if they want to attack with a small thing, you're like, I got this thing which could
Yeah.
potentially block.
Yeah,
it."
yeah.
Yeah.
This
Like,
is,
I
it can,
think
it can
Chocobos-
block just because.
Yeah.
It's on my shortlist for like top 5 fire cards.
Yeah.
Full stop.
It goes
so-
well with the Barret, the new
Yeah.
Barret that we have.
Yeah.
This is Fire's Ghoul.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
Ghoul's. I mean, it's very good, but
Mm.
Ghoul is just that little bit better.
I
don't know.
disagree with you.
No.
I disagree with you many times over.
Why?
Bomb?
Explain why.
No.
Because
Bomb is amazing.
You look at them within the like the lens of their element, right?
Yeah.
Bomb does for fire what Ghoul does for ice. It enables all your damage allotments, which is your removal. Ghoul turns on all of ice's removal. So they achieve the same thing. Sure,
Ghoul stays around.
Ghoul stays around, but like bomb, like when you set off
And
the bomb.
Ghoul does more than just do set of Ice's removal.
Yeah,
as
yeah,
well.
but bomb also can be
Oh, Ghoul's so
the
good.
final point of damage as well.
That's
Oh,
right.
yeah.
Like,
Bomb
it's
can
a-
just get through.
We've spoken plenty of times over the course of these set reviews how good the monsters that can be forwards are just because of that.
Yep.
And in addition to that, it's gonna be like your game-ending
Bomb.
explosion.
But it's not a 5+0 like Ghoul. I would say it's a 4+1. It's a little bit. It's not as strong, but when you build around it, it's very strong.
I think I'm happy with that because that's the same points amount as School gets. So
We're hitting the synergy.
Yeah. I
But
mean,
it's
he
a
has synergy with itself. Bomb,
Yeah.
use 2
Yeah.
bombs as an 8k borderline.
does that constitute a synergy point?
No.
It's just bomb, so
It's
that's just the
bomb.
strength of the card.
No.
When
The,
you-
the,
when
the
you-
+1 is with all the other cards that it goes well
Okay,
with.
yeah,
Bomb
that's
does
fair
have
enough.
one exploitable weakness though, which I have exploited against you, Jen.
Yeah,
In that when you go to activate bombs, they can respond with Alexander or any other monster removal.
yeah, that's true.
And then you can only use the ability once per turn, so you can't respond back on top with that and
I-
then use bomb.
I wish it was referring to the. I wish that last line was just redundant text.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so but of course they deliberately did that.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair
So
There
players
is
have
a
a chance to
window.
respond to it. And now, because bomb is most of the time
'Cause-
very low risk.
Yeah. Well,
or such huge, like once they've got 2 bombs in play, it's so hard to
Yeah.
like.
You have to
what
feel
to do.
bad contributing more forwards to the
Yeah, it
battlefield.
reminds me of Flans in that respect.
Yeah.
Just on the opposite end of it. this kind of bomb encourages your opponent to keep cards in a bomb flan deck.
That's going to be your next stop.
I mean, that could
Lead
just be
deck,
good
I
because
guess.
you just
Yeah.
you put 2 bombs down first, and then you build backups,
Yeah.
and then you play the flans.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm just thinking about that mono fire list that's just
Yeah.
going to spend all of its time killing your things and not playing anything until
Yeah,
it drops
yeah.
a Zandy.
Yeah.
Right? Like, bombs fit into that situation as well because they're a disincentive.
Mm.
They're a rattlesnake for your hand.
I do remember your bombs backfiring though in the same game, the same match we had, I guess.
Yeah.
Where you used 2 bombs and it did 8k to your Zandy and my little catchraff.
Yeah,
Finished off the
but
Zandy.
in fairness, Chris, one of the reasons I did that was so the Cactar could kill Zande.
Yeah. no, I didn't have any forwards because you wiped them all with bomb. But yeah, that was all provoked because of Ghoul, right?
Ah!
Funny.
So, what do we think?
I think
4 plus 1,
Mm.
maybe 4 plus 2.
4 plus 1, I think, is where it's at. So the next
the next card.
is another bomb.
Ah, wow.
It's a 1-cost monster. Put bomb into the break zone. Choose 1 for it. Deal 5,000 damage.
You know what's a fantastic backup? Dull break, deal 5,000 damage.
I know it. Really.
So
Yes,
good.
your Sid Waff is exceptional. But
So the thing is about this is that the Opus 1 effort just got immediately outclassed again.
Oh, you can use that. They can't see that coming.
yeah,
Yeah.
you have to preload all your monsters, right? There's no surprise factor, right? Whereas
But that's it.
Come on, if it got outclassed.
I know, if we got outclassed.
I know, that Ifrit got outclassed in Opus 2.
Yeah.
This isn't what outclassed that Ifrit.
True.
No, because like I'm actually considering running this bomb in some lists.
I mean, you can
Maybe.
just enable the fire playstyle. You play nothing. You play no forwards for the first 5 turns.
Yeah.
Put bombs down, and just play
And then-
backups to kill things. And then if there's nothing to kill, you just load up your bombs so you can blow them up when you need them. It's just, and then once they've run out of stuff.
You drop your Zandy,
Mm.
or your Rubicante,
Yeah.
or your etc.
Mm.
Yeah. Okay. So what was our score for this one?
I think
1
you
plus
said-
2.
What?
Yep.
Why 1 plus 2? I was thinking about just giving him a 3.
It's
I
really
think
efficient for its cost, but it's still
Why
costs
it's
the
good is because it's not a forward.
Mm.
It's because it's not free. Because you just load it up while it makes your board not vulnerable to your own bomb, right? If you're dealing damage with Furians, you'll kill it with your double bomb. This one you can just sit up while you're doing nothing, which is I think what you want to do in Fire now.
Yeah.
You just keep doing nothing until you win.
I don't think Rama or Shiva are very good, right? They're one
Yeah.
drop ones.
And
from
I
Opus 1.
haven't played
And
any of them
even
since
if they
Opus 1
didn't,
either.
if they didn't have their conditional text,
Mhm.
I still wouldn't like them that much.
Yeah.
Because it's a fair amount of damage for the cost. It's just it's too small. It's I liken it to Warrior in Earth, the new standard unit. 4K for 1 is amazing, but it's still too small. In the context of the whole game. But the fact it's a monster. And then you can have the synergy with the Sid Waff, right? Or
Umaru
Gao or
or-
something that is getting the synergy
There
points
are
from
there are
those,
enough
I'd
other
say.
cards that interact with monsters to make this bomb maybe worth playing in a Fire X monsters list.
Yeah.
But
So that's my argument.
okay, alright, no, Chris has convinced me.
Now, 1 plus 2. All good. Okay. Next card is Kevin. Do you want to talk us through?
So this is 3 cost 7k called March. It reads Dull 1 active forward, choose 1 forward blocking March, deal a damage equal to the power of the Dull forward.
This works in a Fire Earth deck. That's where I see it anyway.
Yeah.
Because
Earth has big brave dudes.
yeah, because Earth's got big dudes. They're also brave. They can attack and they can be dealt for this effect.
I was
You
thinking
know.
also, Cyan gives 5 different cards in your deck, Brave as well.
Oh well, yeah, that too.
But-
Definitely.
I really want to like this forward. I think it's maybe just missing 1 extra line of text somewhere. If it had Brave itself, I'd like it a lot more.
How would that
but
change?
imagine the play is like this. You attack with your Marauder, and then you swing with your March. If they fully literally block your March, you can Astrologian your Marauder and dull it.
Oh. Chris, your deck's building itself. I think the utility with if you're putting this card in your deck, I'm only really putting it in my deck because it can be searched for. Like, buy an EX burst. The reason I don't like Marsh as much as I like Lan or Tifa is Marsh himself isn't as relevant most of the time, and his ability relies on you not attacking more.
Yeah.
So unless you've got brave guys, in which case they've already attacked, right?
Wait, not attacking more? What?
So
Because you
because you have to dull an active forward, so that forward,
You can't
unless
attack
you can activate it
Yeah,
or it's
okay,
already
okay.
attacked
Yeah,
and
yeah,
is
yeah.
somehow or still active.
Yeah, sorry, brain fat.
Yeah.
So the ideal scenario is that
Oh no, but not really, because they don't block this.
Yeah, they don't.
Yeah.
So they
Which
still
I
attack with the other
Yeah,
things.
I guess in that sense he's kind of Lan-esque.
Yeah.
the ideal scenario, if they do block you, is that your other forward is bigger than the forward that they blocked, or
You could just have multiple small ones.
or like the other ones. If it's a
Bombs
small
assemble.
one, or if it's a small one, then Marsh is trading up.
Yeah.
So
No, you can just dull 2 small ones and kill
Like-
the thing.
no, yeah, you could do
Yeah.
that as well.
My point is,
But it's like, the worst case scenario is that Marsh trades up. Best case scenario is that Marsh kills a guy or deals damage.
yeah.
So, like, it's not.
I think it's
bad.
best on the block if they block it, which makes me want to use it with sync, because ideally you can just
Yeah.
want to just
You
use
can,
it as a removal
you
to
can
translate
force
the
the block.
bodies you already have on board. into removal.
I'd like to contend your worst case scenario. The worst case scenario is you don't have any other forwards.
Yeah.
No.
And then
Well, you don't
like,
attack with it then.
Yeah, but
Which sets it
this-
apart from both
this-
Tifa and
yeah,
Lan.
This is part of its weakness.
Yeah.
All of
Fair enough.
all of the
Yeah.
Tifas and all of the Lan that exist,
The Lan.
the one Lan that exists, are fine on their own.
But you know what's fantastic? This actually works very synergistically with Lan, because if Lan is blockable, like they have a 7k,
Yeah.
you attack with Marsh.
Yeah. And then you can still get use out of your Lan.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
with
interesting.
Lan, if you're playing Lan, you might have a rain anyway, in which case he's not really blockable.
I've usually seen like only like one rain in list set run Lan, like just so EX. If you incidentally.
I
have it
normally
randomly
run 2.
Yeah, 2.
But-
I think 2 is a right
Yeah.
number.
I prefer 1 just because of other fire
Yeah.
backup.
Yeah. It's fair enough.
Whatever.
Okay, so what's the score?
I think 3. I think he's just an okay guy,
Okay.
but he's not gonna make most of
Yeah,
most
I don't think
lists.
the sync synergy is enough to push it up.
Okay. Next card, Jared, do you want to talk us through it?
Sure, we've got one of our fire legendaries, the 4-drop Sabine. He is a monk forward, so monks are relevant types sometimes. When Sabine enters the field or attacks, choose one forward you control. It can't be broken this turn. He's got 2 more abilities. Fire and generic. Sabine gains 2,000 power until the end of turn. You can only use this ability while Sabine is attacking. And he's got a special ability called Rising Phoenix. Fire 2. Deal 8,000 damage to all forwards. You can only use this ability while Sabine is attacking, and he's an 8,000.
Before we
forward.
get into anything too serious about this card, what's hilarious is that his just the effect of plus 2,000 power while he's attacking. That's a terrible Marauder.
You have to pay for it as well.
For just
What?
2,000.
Now to a more serious
Yeah.
analysis of Sabine.
He's
He's amazing.
Good card.
Yeah.
He's one of
Yeah.
the standout fire cards from the set.
If anyone's seen our podcast, they know how I feel about this.
Yeah, maybe-
The Mecha Chocobo rap.
The
Mm-hmm.
Mecha
Yeah.
Chocobo rap, yeah.
Oh gosh.
Even just on fire, with like you get your fragile Palom through, and your General Leo can attack with damage as well.
He's exceptional with all of those slightly smaller fire
Yeah.
forwards.
And guys with on damage triggers, on attack triggers.
And if you have nothing better to pick, he can always just pick himself.
Yep, and then he just gets through for damage. And then you can just match whatever blocks him if they do block him. And if they don't block him, he just got through for damage.
Exactly.
Yeah, like if you choose himself and you don't power him up, then you're on fire. You just do a little ping
Yeah.
of damage
Yep.
to get rid of it. You know.
Yeah. What do you do against this thing if you don't ghoul it? Like,
He's another one of those forwards, right?
Yeah, you
I
just
mean-
have to
I
kill
mean,
him like
like
when
Odin,
when he's not attacking.
Bahamut,
Yeah.
you know, before
Before
the battle phase.
before he's attacking, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think this is another big reason why that Bahamut's going to be irrelevant. It's at a relevant threshold, 8,000.
I mean, like I think we talked a lot about this on the podcast. If you guys was it number 2? We
I
talked
know it was
about
the. I think it was the first podcast, wasn't it?
No,
No,
I
it
don't
was,
think it was.
uh,
Right. No,
Podcast.
he hadn't been spoiled.
Yeah, yeah.
We only
Oh,
said
it was
bias.
with Greg. It was with Greg.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
true.
So being-
So yeah, we talked a lot more about that there, but in general, it's a very good card.
It's
very
really
very
strong.
hard to block. Very relevant as can be searched in 2 elements.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's
Yes.
not much more
He's
to
a
say.
really strong
He
card.
makes your yang one bigger.
Ooh.
If I'm making a
Two
fire
bigger.
earth,
Two bigger?
Yeah. Doesn't Yang get +2k and become brave if you got?
Oh, that yes.
That's
There's
a
that one. There's that
different-
yang also.
yeah, that's a different. Yeah.
All the yangs that aren't the good yang.
Yeah. So what was our score for this one?
I think he's a 4+1.
I'd go with 5 on this one.
5.
Yeah.
There's not
No plus
a
one?
lot of synergy.
No, he synergizes with every on attack trigger.
Yeah.
Every
Any
single
card
one.
that says that rewards you for attacking Sabine synergizes with.
and
Are,
even
are,
if
we, are we giving this the coveted 5+1?
I would be okay with that.
You
I'd
would be okay with that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
I think-
like
I think so
like
as well.
no
5+1.
5+1.
5
I'd be
plus
okay with that.
1.
Yep.
Okay, so next card is Mont Blanc. It's a 4-cost EX burst backup. When Mont Blanc enters the field, you may search for one card named Marsh and add it to your hand. We were talking about that before. Pay 1 fire dull. Choose 1 forward, deal 2,000 damage. You can only use this ability if you control a card named Marsh.
And it's a Moogle.
Yep.
Yeah, but
Relevant.
Mont Blanc.
but you can't use the other Mont Blanc.
That's true.
Yeah.
I mean, but this one does what the other one does if you have 2 Moogles anyway.
Yeah, I guess
So-
so. I mean, how good do you guys think is the active ability? The
I
choose 1
used,
forward, deal 2,000.
I used to play the backup Zaz a lot in Opus 1.
Yeah.
It was good then.
Yeah.
It's even better now with No-No.
You can kill Marauder.
No, yeah, he can kill more.
OP.
OP.
And to Marauder.
No, it's just like when I first read this, like I was like, oh, cool, a searcher for Marsh, and then when I read the ability, I was like, especially since it has a condition of Marsh has to.
I
know
think it's the
field.
ability that makes this card.
I
it's-
think this is the reason why you play Marsh.
Yeah,
just so
exactly.
you have
I
a
think this is
target.
why
No,
you
no,
play
exactly, no,
Marsh.
no, but like, see, that's exactly the reason, right? I don't want to play Marsh just for that ability. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I get you.
Yeah.
I get you as
Um,
well.
The thing is, I spoke about this when we were talking about Marsh. He's a fire card that nets you a card, right? Like those effects are valuable in and of themselves.
It doesn't net your card.
Oh, well,
When it EXs.
when he EXs,
It
like,
is, okay.
right, like I played Belias not just because it's an amazing summon, but because it's an amazing summon that draws a card. I play Zangan and Rain because they can shift the tide of the game in your favor, and this is another one. I don't know that you play this in addition to them. You probably find some sort of mix, because at the end of the day you still
You
have to
wouldn't
pay
run-
for this.
You wouldn't run all three of them.
No, I wouldn't. I don't play
Yeah.
all three of them now.
Yeah.
But the more of these cards that exist, then
No,
it's
the worse they all get. Because it means you're spreading up your
yeah,
things.
no, and
So-
I'm not saying that I would include all three. Is what I meant.
Yeah.
There's more
but
This thing's
you-
actually weaker
but
because
this
the other
means
two
you have
exist.
more options, which means there are more decks.
Yeah, I mean, I just personally, a little underwhelming. That's all.
Yeah, I mean he's
Yeah, I'd be lying if I
he's
said
not
I
one of
wasn't
the like the standout cards of the set, but I'm saying he's not bad.
Yeah. So what's the score?
He's a searcher. He costs.
No, it's a little more than
He doesn't do anything without the thing he finds.
Yeah.
So that's why I think he's only the 3. He doesn't get anything
Yeah,
extra.
okay.
He goes up for some reasons and down for some reasons. So I think
He's
at
just-
net he
he's-
ends up at 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, next card. Chris, do you want to talk us through?
Yeah, it's General Leo, 3 CP. When
No, he's a captain. He's not general.
That's weird.
Alright, General Leo, he's 3 CP, he's a captain, he's 7,000 power, 6 volt. When General Leo attacks, choose one forward opponent controls, deal it 2,000 damage, and Shock is his S. S, 3 generic CP, deal 5,000 damage to all the forwards opponent controls.
We were just talking about bum.
Yep.
More AoE.
Yeah.
More AoE. And on attack triggers for
and-
free.
Shock is only to your opponent's forwards.
Yep.
So
Wait,
one
wait.
bomb plus that just wipes your opponent's stuff and not your stuff.
And that's probably just better than a Lich.
And
Yeah.
with last video, we were talking about the Lich.
Mm-hmm.
You can search for the General Leo, put 3 of this, put 3 of the Lich. 5,000 plus half their powers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Gone.
Yeah, I guess.
that's 10. That's kills up to 10Ks.
I think it kills up to 11, right?
No.
Which rounds up?
Oh yeah. So yeah, it would be
Yeah.
6 and 5.
Yeah, like
Mhm.
I can actually see that. Like definitely see that.
Yeah,
in
yeah.
Fire Ice List.
Fire Ice with Lich
Fire
in general, Leo.
ice, 6s, yeah.
And even just in fire, this is more of what it
Mhm.
wants.
The 2000 damage is
Relevant.
good.
Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
really
Yeah,
like
a
General
free
Leo.
2000 is a good 2000.
Yeah, and then
He's-
you get other free 2000s.
Ah, it kills
Yeah.
Marauder.
He's
Ah.
on
Oh, no.
curve. He's on curve if your opponent only has one forward, it'll trade up,
Mm.
Yeah,
right? And if you have Sabine, he can attack safer, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, the thing about him trading up is not if they have a 7K.
Yeah.
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 But then he just...
Then you actually don't want to use him. Then like they shut him down by
Yeah.
having like just a 7K.
And then you attack with Marsh instead.
Yeah.
Haha.
Yeah.
Okay. What was
March
the
might
score?
make it into that
The six
list because they're all brave as well.
Yeah, yeah.
So what was the score?
I think he's a maybe a 3+1
Yeah.
because you kind of have to build the deck to capitalize on the little damage.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Okay.
2K's not going to do
That's-
anything without
Yeah.
something else.
Okay.
Yeah.
Last card,
Oh, this is
Kevin.
interesting.
Do you
Okay,
wanna-
so this is a 2-cost 5K forward on curve called Lidnar. When Lidnar blocks or is blocked, if your opponent doesn't pay 2, Lidnar cannot be broken this turn. When Lidnar is chosen by a summon or an ability of your opponent, if your opponent doesn't pay 2, Lidnar cannot be broken this turn. This card has been a very weird card to evaluate for us all.
Yeah, we've had some really interesting conversations.
Yeah, and we never managed to conclude
It-
whether
yes.
it's good or
Yeah.
bad.
Hey, no, it really seems like my kind of card. Like
Oh,
the,
yeah.
The bluff potential is stupidly
yeah,
good.
Yeah, I love bluffing.
So let's try to highlight the spectrum of what it can do. So
Yeah.
so the worst what it can do, you attack with it, they pay 2, it dies. It does nothing.
Well, in that case, it has done something. It's
5K
said
damage.
5k damage, and your opponent discarded a card,
Yep,
right?
Essentially.
essentially.
Well, they paid 2. That's
paid-
not the
but-
same.
yeah,
as
well,
discarding card.
Yeah.
Hey,
But,
well, but
and you paid for this card. So
my
it's
point is,
even.
in a lot of matchups, your opponents aren't going to have like backup resources on your turn. Most of the time, backups are spent proactively in your own turn.
Not when you plan to ghoul something.
Not sure, not against ice maybe, but like against a lot of decks, they might only have like one backup open afterwards because of inefficiency.
Yeah,
So like because of the fact that your opponents don't have as many available resources on hand usually, Lednar might be good because then she's
Yeah.
kind of like, all right, 5,000 damage got dealt to one of my
Yeah.
opponent's forwards. I'll finish that off now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's-
in that case, it's a net 0 cost.
Yeah.
If you take everything into account, it's a net 0 cost 5K.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that sets up as an enabler for a lot of other things. The
Now we get to the bluff potential.
Yeah.
So if you
Yeah.
attack with this card and then they pay 2, and then you somehow just kill their forward, which is probably what you're going to do anyway because you're a fire deck, then you've just wasted a card of theirs just by attacking.
Yep. And then the
Works on the block as well.
Yeah, it works on the block.
and there's also the fact that it can't be chosen by your opponent's summons or abilities.
It can.
Well, no, it can, but like
It can't be broken.
yeah.
Unless they pay 2.
I had a little thought about that before. Say this for whatever reason it gets chosen by Ghoul. I followed up with like a board wipe. This thing survives because it says until end of turn it can't be broken.
Yeah.
So-
I guess it does.
No, well, like, assuming he
Or-
doesn't pay 2.
Or even
I
if
mean, he wouldn't pay 2. Right?
if under either circumstance that it like the 2 doesn't get paid, you then follow it up with a board wipe and then this lives
Yeah.
because it says until end of turn this can't be broken.
That says cannot be broken this turn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Sorry. Well, same difference, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's. I think it's.
Like it becomes indestructible as opposed to all right, that effect didn't work. So like because that effect lasts until the end of turn, all subsequent game actions are gonna take that into account.
It's difficult to kill this for free as well.
Yes.
The 2 cost 5K, it's like not as fragile as all the other 2 cost 5Ks.
Yeah,
you can't just VV this for
Mhm.
free because you have to pay 2 extra.
Same with Zalbag.
Yeah,
right?
Zalbag
He's
has to pay
another
2
thing
extra.
that can target it.
Yeah.
Zalbag's a lot worse if he costs 5,
Yep.
and he's killing this.
I can,
This thing hates Minwu though.
yeah, I can see that.
Definitely.
I mean,
like,
it's a fire card. It hates Minwu.
Yeah.
This is a very interesting.
Yeah, I mean,
card.
like we said before, at the very least, it's dealing 5k to a forward of your opponent's choice.
It's-
That's like the text, and then the very best, you're
Yes.
killing something for free.
Infinite bluff potential.
Yeah.
Here's the where the mind games get really deep, because if this thing is, say, on the block, it's there ready to defend, and then as their opponent you attack into their Lednar with, I don't know, a 7k, anything bigger than 5k, and then they block.
Yup.
And then you're like, huh.
Do I pay too?
Yeah, do I pay 2?
Would they block without anything?
Yeah, would they?
Yeah, and then-
would
and
they
then- and
block
then- yeah,
if,
and then- and
if
then-
I could just pay 2 and it dies for free?
Exactly. Yeah.
And then the obvious answer to that is, well, no, of course they wouldn't. Like, they'd have some way to capitalize on the
Yeah.
damage that they're doing. So I don't want to lose my forward for free, so I'll pay 2.
and then you pay 2 and then add Titan.
Yeah.
Or like
Or
just
Golem.
or you
yeah,
think-
like
or
Goliath.
just like
Or you
Bahamut
think-
therefore.
or you think, no, that's because you're expecting a trick like that. You're like, okay, I don't pay 2 because my thing's like gonna die anyway.
Well, if you
And
don't
like,
pay 2, then I don't do it.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, I know, like, because they have like
That's a-
Goliath or something that
Yeah.
then kills your thing. So then,
But then
yeah,
all the while, the fire player's just sitting there with nothing in
Yeah,
hand.
yeah,
Yeah, it's like 3 Sephiroths.
Yeah.
It's like,
So, yeah. You don't pay 2. It's all because they blocked. They made this suboptimal, quote unquote, suboptimal
Yeah.
choice,
Yeah.
which then opened up all these mind games. Oh, I don't know. Do I pay 2? Do I not pay 2? And then it's the same question if they attack and you've got a huge blocker and you're like, ah.
and you know what? If you attack into a Lidna and
Yeah.
you go through the mind games,
Yeah.
your next attack you have to do that all over again.
No, if you haven't paid 2,
If
there's
you
no
have-
point
yeah,
attacking.
okay, yeah.
Because
Yeah, that's true,
It's
that's
just
true.
broken.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
regarding all of that, like, for me it's a 5, but I think for the actual thing,
Well,
it's 3 plus 1. 3
it's-
plus 1 is rare
It's
time.
so hard.
It's
because
so
much
weird.
of it goes in the mind games.
But
we,
like,
we,
that's-
this
yeah.
card we haven't been able to play with yet,
Like,
have we?
No, I haven't put
I
in a deck
played
yet.
it once.
Yeah.
In Chris and I, when we opened our boxes, we made decks that were only using the commons
yeah.
and rares.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But I was making
fire
an
and
ice.
ice.
Oh.
And I mean, I attacked with this once. He paid 2, and then it died. So
Okay.
Yeah,
like-
Great
like-
card.
No.
I only drew it the
What
once.
makes
so.
it hard
Okay.
to evaluate is that if they call your bluff, it's a really bad outcome for you. But if they
Well,
don't,
it's not that bad.
it is. You just lose a thing.
Yeah, it's a two
Like,
cost.
It's a 5,000 ping.
For 0.
Yeah,
Well, for 1 card.
Yeah,
This
it's
card.
just a forward that died.
and maybe
Like-
you discard a card.
No, it's paying 2 isn't discarding a card. Like,
I'm
they're not the
choosing to
same
believe
thing.
that it is.
It's not the same thing. You just want access to discard.
I want you to feel the way you make me feel.
Yeah, but, like-
if they don't get it right, your opponent, this card's absolutely insane. So like, it's like it's either extremely good or extremely garbage, and that's why I don't think we can just average that into like a 3.
Yeah. Yeah.
This has its.
yeah.
I think
No,
this is like a
three-
special.
three-
It's a Schrodinger's 5.
Yeah, it's a
3
5 or a
plus-
1, right?
Like 2 plus 2.
I think we
Okay,
go.
okay, how about this?
I think this
How about
fits
this?
into the 2
One-
plus 2 category.
No, 1 plus 1, 1 plus 0 or 5
It
plus
depends how good your
No, no,
poker
no.
face is.
It's a 3 plus or minus 2.
Yeah, okay, I can agree with that.
Okay.
I have to
So-
make a new graphic.
Yeah.
We can have one
Yeah.
central crystal in blue,
Yeah.
2 purple ones, and 2 red ones.
On the upside, this is the last card that we're
Yeah,
reviewing.
yeah,
So
No, it's all good. Okay, fine, fair
Just
enough.
depends on your poker face.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I think.
Oh, no, or you
I don't
can-
want to. I don't want
It
Murad
is-
to play this card. I'm just like, what do I do?
this is a card that is as good as you are sneaky.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay, now I want to make a deck with this.
Yeah.
I want to go back to my
And then,
old,
you
good
know,
old
oh,
Fire Earth.
It becomes, funny enough, I think it becomes less good if you have a light terror that's active on your side of the field.
Oh, yeah.
Because then your opponent just does all play around everything.
Mm.
Like, then they know
At-
what to expect.
At which point, what happens? Do they block it? Do they let it through?
They just treat it knowing like you've got everything.
Mm.
So that's funny.
Okay, so yeah, thanks for listening and watching, guys. Let us know what you think of this review. Tell us what we got right, what we got wrong. look back in it in 3 months' time and tell us that we're wrong.
Well, tell us.
It's been a lot of fun for us to go through this.
Oh, it has.
Yeah.
It'll be a great learning experience as
Yeah,
well.
and I'm really looking forward to when Opus 5 comes around.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
be so excited for that.
Yeah.
The hype is already. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, can you imagine a 7th Lightning?
it's
No,
probably
no.
gonna happen. It's a 13 starter deck.
It'll be a 7th and an 8th and a 9th vintage.
Ah,
Probably
yes.
more likely.
Anyways,
yeah.
thanks for listening, guys. Number 1 Potato Boss out.